What's going on, everybody? Listen, we have a super special guest, Ron from. Listen, Ron from Thunder Rooster.
You
I
gotta
love the
say it.
name. I love the name, dude. Like Thunder Rooster is just so unforgettable.
Yeah.
It just sticks. You're just like okay. Anyway. Look. I'm all scatterbrained right now, but we're
We'll
gonna get
get
on
to
track.
the name part in a second. There's some
Okay.
story there.
Oh no, I feel like there totally is, and I need to know what it is. But first, I want to thank you for your time and jumping on this channel and being part of this like collaborative effort I have, bringing other content creators and musicians and stuff on the channel and just kind of humanizing us like a little bit.
No, we need that.
It's a breath of fresh air to be able to talk about this shit. Because I feel like you gotta know people on this side of things to be able to like either vent properly or find a way, you have that connection. Because all the issues I've hit with like the awesome copyright strikes and copyright claims, I vent to my wife and she's like, I don't give a shit. Like that's not, like I don't know what you're talking about.
I get it.
And so it's tough. So it's always good to have, or we're slowly creating this network where we can kind of collaborate and be there for each other and kind of just talk, open communication lines, and show people in our audience that YouTube isn't as vast as people think it is. Yep. But yeah, man. So a couple questions. This is not going to be a grilling session at all.
Oh, bring it on. I'm ready.
Listen. Okay. So can we at least, I have to ask, because right out the gate, because this sets up so many different things. Why Thunder Rooster, dude?
Okay, so first off, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Second off, it actually it's not an innuendo for Thundercock. It's just not.
I mean, you know what I mean. But it works as well as an innuendo.
Yeah. So like, I roll with it because it's hilarious. But I was just trying to think of something original, and one of my first real favorite bands was Korn, and they picked their name out, and they're like, it doesn't matter what our band's called, the music's going to make the name. So I was kind of like, okay, I can get something stupid and it'll be fine. Dude, but my best friend Dakota had an old beater car, and it was a Thunderbird, and like it was junk. Like it didn't have any like door panels or door handles.
Yeah.
You had to pull the window down, reach in, grab the little bar that you're supposed to have a handle attached to, all that. But it had a sick V8 engine in it, right?
It could go fast.
Yeah, it goes real fast. But we called it Thunder Chicken. So I was thinking Thunder Chicken, Thunder Rooster, Thunder Rooster.
Thunder Rooster. Dude, I love the name. It just stuck with me. And let me just be completely honest up front. I found your channel through what is now known as Electric Callboy reactions, because I got sent down a rabbit hole of epic, amazing proportions, discovering my soul band, my spirit animal in the band form.
Right.
And yeah, man, that's how I found you. I was like, dude, I like these guys. So your friend Paul, did you guys start this together? Or
actually, we started out as a podcast, and I know everybody and their brother decided to start a podcast during the pandemic and everything, but this is something I'd been kicking around for a couple of years at that point, because I was really into listening to podcasts of all kinds. I would just, anything I was enthusiastic about, I just put that in the search bar and then just find stuff like that,
Yeah.
And so me and Paul, we worked together, and we ended up having a lot in common, especially like music. Me and him have been playing guitar for about the same amount of time, and we just started kicking around the idea of doing the podcast, and we were really into like paranormal stuff, conspiracies, movies, music.
I
So
feel
we're
that.
going to be like those were our pillars for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So we did that for about a year, a little over a year actually. And then I'd start watching and enjoying some reactions here and there. So I was like, this is interesting. Maybe we could do a reaction or something, maybe funnel some people into the podcast. The very first reaction that we did was Electric Callboys, We Got the Moves. And that was completely dumb luck
So
because
that was just
I
like
saw the thumbnail.
unscripted. That was just unscripted. Like, hey, let's just do this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, let's give it a shot. So I picked 2 out and we did it one night after we did our podcast. And it was them. And I literally only picked that one from the thumbnail.
Dude,
just the
thumbnail.
bowl cuts, you know?
Yeah.
And I saw that it had like 3 million views in 3 days. I'm like, this is popping up on my For You page for a reason. So I decided to pull that one out. And then Lorna Shore's Into the Hellfire, it just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So we did those 2.
That's awesome.
And like, man, after that, it was so much energy and laughter. And we had such a good time doing that.
Yeah, I went back to that because we have very similar character origin stories. Like, okay. You know, my friend and I started a channel, Embrace the Suck 21, as a way to do like a fitness channel for Tough Mudder. We were going to enter Tough Mudder, you know, which is an obstacle course, right?
Yeah.
And that fell on its face, right? It fell completely on its face, obviously. And then my wife was like, hey, why don't you check out how they make churros at Taco Bell? And that was our first reaction. And from there, it just all came. And then once we reacted to Oasis, right?
Okay.
You know, and then, yeah, that just set our trajectory. And that was it. The rest is history. 4 years.
It's interesting how different everybody is with like bands that you kind of miss the boat on, because like Rammstein was a huge band. I've heard of them. They toured with Korn back in the day. Du Hast was a thing, pretty rampant around when time it came out. Yeah. And so I'd never actually dove into their music, and then the reaction channel kind of opened up. But I say that in, it's like hearing Oasis is like, wow, you know, that's a big one. It'd be like somebody not hearing Metallica or something like that, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those, I put it this way, like, I knew they existed, right? Mm-hmm. I knew, like, and this could be for a lot of popular bands, and people are like, how did you not hear about this? Yeah. First, I shut off when I hear the radio. I don't listen to the radio. I'm not big on it. I tell everyone I'm like 7 years unplugged from things that are like going on. Right.
No, really.
I had my son, and once you have like this reaction channel, you really put your blinders on. Like YouTube, you think, oh man, you get to watch like, no, you actually have to mind your P's and Q's and not accidentally watch something.
Oh, you know? Yeah, it's pain in the butt. That was one of my big things. You know, I was telling you about the break I was taking, or that I've been on, and after about a month, I was like, okay, I'm good right now. I'm just going to listen to whatever I want to. I don't have any rules right now. So yeah, it was so freeing. I was just listening to every little thing I could. And as a musician, I needed it so bad.
Well, I feel like it takes so much, it takes so much from you. Like I've said this before. I think, especially if you're a creative type, like a musician, your soul is music, right? Mm-hmm. And when you listen to other people's art and you develop that connection, it is definitely tiring, because you're like attached to that. For that moment, you're attached to this band, and you give it 100%, right? And over time, it's exhausting. Yeah, and not in a bad way, but it's 100% exhausting. That was kind of a segue, perfectly played into it. Not played into it, but we got there. Okay. Here's Mac the Knife. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, you dug on that one.
Yeah, Mac the Knife, man. Like, please tell me, because hear me out on this, man. I feel like, look, I want our audience, our the friends of our channels to know that we have original content, we have other projects, and Mac the Knife, man. I went and I said it sounded awesome. Is that? I was like, hell yeah, that's so dope. Are you doing that anymore?
My yes is the short answer for that.
Okay.
Yes, it was just a name I picked out for solo stuff.
Yeah.
Like I am a huge Frank Sinatra fan. I know that's not a Frank Sinatra song, but that's how I discovered that song,
Yeah.
Mac the Knife, and I just loved it. And then I actually just started releasing stuff under Thunder Rooster after we started doing the covers and stuff. Just because every time you'd go to search Mac the Knife, you'd never find my stuff. So I was like, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Thunder
gotcha.
Rooster though.
Yeah, Thunder Rooster. Man, I saw your cover of Hypa Hypa. That was legendary, dude. That's
I had
legendary.
so much fun. To
Hey,
this day, my son does not want to hear the original version. He wants to hear my version. It
oh,
makes me
that's
feel
awesome.
so good.
That's so awesome, dude. Like, it's just some bands that you get into just exude joy and fun.
Yeah.
And what I've learned from this, at least specifically with Electric Callboy, uh they don't take themselves seriously, but they take the music seriously, right? That's a common comment on everything, and it's 100% true. And I dig that. I 100% dig that.
Right.
What if we can just talk about reactions for a little bit? Did you think? How do I phrase this? What would you guys be doing without YouTube? Do you think if you guys didn't stumble into reactions, would you be pushing podcasts more? Like,
I don't know. I don't think so actually, because like the podcast honestly wasn't doing that great. I don't even think we had hit 100 subscribers before we started doing the reactions. I mean, we put out I think 56 episodes at the time, or 55, and it was just right after doing it for a year. And we weren't getting a ton of traction or anything like that. So I would say the podcast probably would have kind of just fizzled out. But if I wasn't doing YouTube, I could tell you I'd have a lot more music content.
Yeah. I figured that, man. It's just so interesting when I talk to different not just reactors but content creators. It's the balance, because there has to be a balance. And if you try to do one thing too much, you're on a quick way to burn out. What is your how do you step away from it? How do you unplug? That's a kind of a sign off I have, is unplug and do something legendary. And how do you
my wife and kids are huge in that department for me, because when if my wife notices that I'm not present with the kids or something like that, and I'm trying to think about something else, and she just yanks me back down to earth and be like, hey, it's not time for that.
Awesome.
So it's interesting though, with the time and everything. When we started traveling and stuff, you would think I would have all the time in the world to do YouTube. I'm not entirely sure I had more time than what I had before I started traveling. Because I was driving a lot of the time. I'm handling all the goings on with RV travel, and then we had a baby girl, and
that's all she wrote
all my time.
Yeah. Hey, I applaud anyone that has a baby while doing YouTube. Like, that is, I don't understand. Like, we started YouTube when my son was a year. He had just turned a year old. So I was able to kind of like get out a little bit.
I think my son was almost about to turn 2, and I think that's what gave me my false confidence about the whole thing was like, oh, I've had a kid while doing YouTube before, so I got this. And then it's like you forget about all the little baby stuff you got to pay attention to and all the time it takes. And I tried really hard, I did, but
yeah, it's a tough one when you try to you water too many plants.
right.
It's like, dude, the one that I promised my wife would hurt, like if I couldn't manage it all, would be my YouTube presence. So like this is where I can make the time. This is not family, family, job security, all this stuff is priority over creating content.
Right.
Like that's for me, that's a no-brainer. But
were you able to do YouTube full time at any point?
Yes. I 3.5 years did it
Okay, cool.
full time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was completely different. My background is construction and construction management, and a lot of other ways I learned how to not be good at something. So, but I got tired of swinging hammers, and it just popped off, and it happened. And listen, during lockdown, everyone was on YouTube. Everyone was on YouTube because we were like all forced to. But nowadays I feel like there's a breath of normalcy. People are going out and not in their devices as much. Still in their devices with shorter attention spans, but like they're going out and living real life shit as we did before, which is awesome for humanity's sake. But when you do the reacting and the content creation, that just means either a lot slower growth or intermittent bumps, valleys that are usually more manageable or predictable, right?
Yeah, it makes you think that like the reaction stuff might be like further down the food chain when it comes to viewing. It's like, oh, I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah, dude. Well, because I feel like people. Well, the reason I loved YouTube, my go-to videos were the how-to videos. Like the tutorials, right? And
are you one of those learners too? Like, if you see something, you can do it,
dude. So no, check this out. This is so random.
I totally am.
This is so random. All right, so my wife and I we're going to start like a homestead. That is the goal, right? And so that's going to be on my other channel, Unplug Nation.
I think that's something that I think a lot of us have in common, bro, is that a lot of us want to go and get a homestead going.
Yeah. And I want to document the whole process. So this is a very long story. I'm trying to shorten it. Well, I'm raising the funds. We started that GoFundMe kind of thing to get enough, because my wife's like, you do this. You are in charge of this. You go buy the land. This is your dream, your project. And I was like, bet, I'll do it. Like I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Like if you're telling me if I can do it, I get to do this, then yes. So we're raising like 10% to get the homestead. And yesterday I found out how to make these paracord bracelets. Just because. And so I'm making those to get to people that help out that thing.
Like an incentive thing. Yeah.
Cool. Just kind of like, hey, I actually give a shit about you giving a shit about me,
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it is. But eventually that's down the road. And I feel like those types of journeys are just very watchable. Like I wanted to ask you about this because it's like kind of in the same realm of your RV road trip or your RV living for what was it? How long? A year?
We lived in it for 2 years before we came back.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what inspired that, or what made you pull the trigger and do that? Because I know that is not an easy decision.
Yeah, I can pinpoint 2 things precisely, actually, that kind of led to that. One being, seeing people do that on YouTube as it was like, this is something I really want to do. And if you can make money doing that, that's awesome. Let's do it. But watching channels, following along. I saw like I had a handful of RV channels that I watched and still watch actually today. But my wife and I went to the Grand Canyon on our honeymoon, and we had this conversation about why are we going to wait until we retire to go travel and explore and do stuff? Like, we're not promised
Love
that.
that. Fucking love
Her
that.
dad died early. My dad, he was old, but he's still in my life, he died early. So it's like, we're not promised that time. So
No.
plus you don't want to go out and do all that stuff when you're old and there's stuff that you can't do anymore, So
yeah, dude,
that was the biggest inspiration for us.
Oh, that's hey, listen, I applaud you. That is, you got your priorities 100% in the right place. Because I feel the same way, man. You can't enjoy that stuff when you're 80 and broken. I'm already almost 40 and broken. I recently listen, I recently stepped off a ladder at home and I pulled my back. I slipped a disc.
Yeah.
And for the past like 2 weeks, I've been like bedridden, dude. And I'm just like, really? This is life? This is dude, like, no.
I've been extremely fortunate that, I feel like I'm aging a lot slower than most people I know my age, but it's that random knee pain out of nowhere. You're like, what is this? What did I do?
Is it about to rain? I'll call you for the weather forecast. Don't worry.
We got an inch of snow coming tomorrow.
Why? Oh, my knees are acting up again.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. I love that, dude. Oh man. Oh god. So sorry, man. It's just funny. So you guys, when I say you guys, all right, Paul and you guys do the most of the music covers together. Do you bring in other people within the Thunder Rooster camp? Is it just you guys running the show?
It's mainly me.
Yeah.
See, Paul and I actually, I actually never have talked about this on YouTube before. We parted ways right when I started traveling and stuff.
Okay.
I'm not gonna air out any dirty laundry or stuff, but like we did not talk for, gosh, I think it was 1.5 years before we spoke to each other again, and that was like through text message. And then about the time whenever we came back here to Ohio, I randomly got a text message as a response to something I had sent him about 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
And bless his heart, he was like, it was just one of those things. Is like, I didn't get rid of this text. I had it. What's up, kind of thing. But him and I are good again, and this is I don't know if my video will come out before this, but we're going to be doing reactions together again at some point.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And but yeah, back to your question about the music stuff. He and I do collaborate a lot on that, and actually we have a song coming out pretty soon, a cover that we did.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know if I should say what it is exactly.
No, just leave that. Listen, guys listening to this, watching this, okay? That right there is a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Make sure you are subscribed to Thunder Rooster, okay? Just stay abreast of all things Thunder Rooster-ish. All right.
I mean, aside from like the hypa video we did, that was really cool. I'm most excited about just how this one sounds.
Okay.
It's I've had some friends do a little testing on it, and it's an emotional little we did it. Like,
okay, man. Hey, I can't wait for that to come out. Once it does come out, I'll let it breathe some, and then I'm gonna react to it if that's cool with you guys.
That's awesome, man.
But look, man, it's just interesting how YouTube and things behind the screen, right? Like, life changes, and you have to be able to adapt with the change. Like right now, we weren't who we were pre-lockdown. And we've all gone through it, and things have changed just on YouTube. Just in the 4 years that I've been doing this thing, it's a completely different platform than it was originally.
Yeah. Just when you think you start figuring out some things, is
right when you
done.
right when you're like, I got it, that's when it just changes, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's a tough thing that I don't want to say this, but I want to talk about it. Um, the reaction scene, you know, I feel like if you're in it early from the beginning, you know, you rock with a big, you know, you rock with a big crowd, a big following, right?
Right.
There's so many that pop up. There's so
Mhm.
many, and I mean, gotta love everyone out here. I applaud anyone's tenacity to come on this platform and put your face out there and your opinions out there.
Oh yeah.
You know, because once you're on this side of things, you've basically signed on the dotted line that you accept all the negative shit.
Right.
There's a little bit of negative shit, an overwhelming amount of support and love out there from
Oh
different
yeah.
communities.
I was actually really shocked that we don't get nearly as much hate as I would thought we would. Like, we get dumb comments every once in a while, but outside of
Yeah,
that, I mean,
but I feel
it's
like
really shocking.
those comments don't come from your community. They come from floaters. They're
Oh
like
yeah.
the vagabonds of YouTube
100%
that just I saw your title. I'm going to write a stupid comment and move on. You know,
Yeah.
those guys.
I remember the best stupid comment I've ever gotten was we did a reaction to this band called Blackpink, and
Mhm.
it was great song, great video, but apparently me and Paul were having too much fun listening to it because we weren't taking it seriously enough,
Oh
and
god.
got called white supremacist. It's like, okay, let's throw that out there.
Oh my god, man. What a nightmare.
I'm just so shocked at how easily people just throw stupid shit like that out there.
Yeah.
It's
I remember when we were growing up, like that time, if you said some shit like that, like that's you just don't.
it got
You
handled really quick.
He got handled, and yeah, for real. Like, no, 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 no. Like, that's the one thing you just don't. Nah, no way. But it's you know, it's just so interesting. Like, we're all sort of reacting to similar type videos.
Mhm.
You know, not really ripping on anyone's format at all. Like, it's inevitable. We cross streams. You know,
No, yeah.
like
We're
it's
all
we cross
standing in a circle
streams.
here.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's interesting to see the communities that come from, you know, that come out for one band, right?
Yeah,
And they blow you up, and you know, they rock with you until you are moving on to another band, you
right.
know. And then it's just interesting to see the how that like compartmentalizes
Yeah,
your audience, your people. um
right.
and that's what happened with this channel. You know, when I was doing reactions, I was releasing 6 a day for 3 months. Yeah,
Dude,
I was a fast pace, burnout, inevitable,
yeah.
inevitable. I knew it wasn't sustainable.
Was it helping your channel though?
Yes, 100%,
It really was? Okay.
100%. First three,
'Cause I thought it would hurt because don't you need like 8 hours to let it
yeah.
kinda air out a little bit there?
So back, and this is how quick I think YouTube changes. Where I'm going to say this: 2 years ago, I would say maybe two a little less than 2 years ago, if you release more than 3 videos, the other videos wouldn't get pushed out.
Yeah,
Three would, like, people would get notified 3 times that you released something, right?
right.
After the third time, no, that flies under the radar,
Yeah.
you know. And then what was happening is later on, when people got kind of sort of pulled into the channel, they would go through the back catalog and find those videos, and then they would have kind of like a second birth um,
Mhm.
of engagement.
Right.
So it it was a lot. I wouldn't do it again, and I would definitely advise no one to do that ever, because what ends up happening is you set a pace that's not sustainable, and then
Mhm.
you get this. People are all about consistency. YouTube's all about consistency and monotony. Unfortunately,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, you have to abide by a schedule, and you like don't you can't bring different shit in, or else it'll
Yeah.
flop on his face.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and you're probably going to think I'm a pussy, but like I was putting out 5 a week, and I thought that was a little bit much.
Well, yeah, no, I 100% get you. Like I wanted to build up a catalog of reactions,
Yeah,
so that way I could schedule it out. But it never happened that way because what was happening is I basically shattered the you know the I want to say fan base because the fan bases within the community, and one day would be yada 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 bands, and then the other group would get kind of up, like kind of pissed, like what happened to this, what happened to this, and I'm
yeah,
like, you know what, that was a big burnout for me. And then that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk to reactors, I want to talk to people on this side of things. You know why?
yeah.
Because I feel like we play a very interesting part in the music reactors play a very interesting part in the music scene.
Hmm.
You know, like it's essentially free advertising for said band.
Right.
Like, and I'm not saying that we don't enjoy it because I know we enjoy it. I know I have enjoyed literally 99% of things that have been on the channel. Um, but it's just interesting. I feel like there's only a couple artists out there that understand what's happening and how YouTube is changing kind of the music industry, like the old heads and the way of thinking. I feel like I don't know. I'm not tooting our own horn at all by any means.
Yeah.
Always stay humble, but seeing like, let's say, like the No Life Shacks, or the big movement of people behind their fan
Yeah.
base, it's like, you could basically pretty much create someone or break someone with a bad reaction, bad review.
Yeah, I
You know.
don't think that reaction channels get enough credit with stuff that like I can name off the top of my head, at least a couple bands that are fully responsible for getting them as well recognized as they are from reactions.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, Electric Callboy,
Yeah.
that their hyper reactions went everywhere,
Yep.
and they even embrace them. They show,
That's
reactions of other people's stuff
that,
too, and it's
yep.
great.
That's class, though. That's a class move. Like
Yeah.
if you show yourself, the artist, show yourself reacting to reactors. It's a beautiful moment. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
hey, we're in this thing freaking together, man.
Yeah.
All what is it? Rising tide lifts all boats, kind of thing
Right.
mentality. And yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But yeah, it was a quick way to burn out for me. Um,
Yeah.
and finding the balance, right? That's where that's where I kind of got sidetracked. It's easy for me to get sidetracked. I have to write shit down. I'm like so old. I actually put pen and paper together.
Squirrel.
Uh, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, what? Oh my god! And then completely lose my track of thought, my train of thought or track of thought, whatever.
Hey, they both work.
They both work, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
it's about the vehicle, right? That kind of thing. Anyway, man. The RV, right? The RV road trip and living, right, is just something that was enthralling to me, because what a commitment to original content, and plus you're doing it for a more important reason than content. You're doing it to spend time with the family.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's absolutely huge. Did you develop or create a fan base while doing that? Like, I know that was an afterthought, probably. Like you like, it's like you obviously in the moment with your family,
Yeah.
and then we record shit.
Yeah. It was one of those things that, like, I mean, we did put effort into it, but like, I don't think I made those as good as I could have. And it
Mm,
was by just not knowing how big of how big of a deal it was to do that, all that at once. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, we were making videos for ourselves,
yeah,
for us to watch. It's our home movies essentially, and we were just trying to make them somewhat watchable, that somebody else might enjoy them or get some, information that they might not know from
yeah.
doing that.
I mean, it's
Mainly,
super
I mean,
important.
like, we're not going to be giving lessons on places and stuff, but like,
Yeah,
I myself will go on YouTube and find people's videos of visiting somewhere, so I don't miss out on something that they might have that they didn't think about.
As someone that hit the road with the family, right? For as long as you did, how was schooling? How did you handle that? How was this I because I was asking my wife, I told her, hey, I'm gonna have this awesome dude on the channel, and kind of a little bit of a back story. And I was like, that's so interesting. She asked me, what about school? And I was like, what about school? That's a
Homeschool, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's Hey man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That you could do that. I've never experienced that. I've heard about it and we thought about it. And if
yeah,
we're doing the homesteading thing, probably going to happen.
yeah.
And it's just interesting. So that was there. I'm glad that was there. That answered a big question of mine. I was like, I don't know. Do you just like don't talk about it? Like
Well, I mean,
homeschool? What's school?
the
No,
crazy
you're
thing
good.
about it is like, you know, it doesn't take long at all for him to do all this. Like he's past kindergarten. Like he's
Yeah.
finished it already.
Yeah.
And he just started back in September,
Mhm.
So and this is like maybe an hour a day that we do it with him.
Wow.
And he's retaining that knowledge like crazy. And like
That's
he's even
awesome.
like learning even more stuff. And I just got him into hockey this year. So I'm really pumped
Yes.
about that.
Yes. Yes. Dude, I can't. Are you going to be, oh man, I've heard nightmares of like traveling, travel sports, right?
Yeah.
Travel teams. Cause we're just dipping our toes. In fact, this Sunday is my son's first soccer game. Not soccer game. Sorry. He signed up for soccer. We signed him up for soccer. And
Okay.
this is his first time playing it. And I'm like, all the parents at the bus stop were telling me, yeah, get ready for travel leagues. I'm like, oh God, I don't know about that. Because I know in my school, hockey was the one sport that you travel. That was
Yeah.
football, not so much. Hockey for sure. And lacrosse, we have lacrosse is a big
Yeah,
thing. We
you
get
have to go
six
so
days.
far away to find other teams, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And oh man, I don't know, man. That's like down the road. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah, I'm a
travel
little
sports.
nervous about that myself, but across that's
Yep.
a future Ron problem.
I got you. I feel that. There's a lot of those in my tank. Um, can can okay. What because I feel like I have to ask this. What has been your most surprising find or discovery of Thunder Rooster? What has been your one of your moments? If you would close your eyes and be like that, what was it?
It was our first reaction. We got the moves by Electric
Yeah,
Callboy.
yeah.
Total, I was mentioning it earlier to you that it was a total serendipitous moment that I actually came across that thumbnail that just looked so ridiculous and saw how many views it got. So I was like, okay, maybe we should give this reaction thing a try. And we picked that one and another one. And man, it was so much fun. I
Yeah,
just watching that reaction, you can tell there's
dude.
nothing fake about that.
Dude, I love like the amount of laughter that you guys had, and how like you guys synced up with the vibe almost instantly.
Yeah.
Like it was just over the top, corny, but absolutely a banger. And
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Um,
I never knew I needed to hear something so hard in my life.
right? What is so would you call yourself a metalhead background? Is that where you're coming from? Right.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But don't get me wrong. My music taste is all over the place. Like my favorite artist of all time is Frank Sinatra.
yeah. Yeah,
But
that's because I'm like, dude, like okay, Mac the
it's a
Knife,
big
and I
difference.
was like, how, that's pretty eclectic to say the
Yeah,
least.
I can be my mother-in-law laughs all the time at it because it's a game of roulette when you get in the vehicle with me. I can be
Mm,
singing along to some Fly Me to the Moon, or you'll hear me trying to make goblin noises with Lorna Shore.
I love that. I'll tell you what, my first two albums I ever bought with my own money were was Bob Marley's Greatest Hits and The Temptations. That was
Oh,
my that's my foundation. So
what a great start.
Right? I was like, hey, I loved, at least around here, it was called Oldies 100 is the radio station that used to be played all the time in my mother's car driving me to school. So I was very fond of the oldies. Like I grew up listening to the oldies. And
you want to hear something about the oldies? Guess what the oldies are now?
Yeah, I know. Is
Does that
Nirvana?
not blow your mind though? I remember in the like 90s and stuff, listening to the oldie station, and then thinking about it now, I was like, wait, if we listen to oldie stuff now, I was a kid when that came out.
Yeah, like you hear Green Day on the, and I'm like, no, like no, there's no way. And you're like, shit.
Oh man,
that was like 30.
What a gut punch.
Yeah, it is. Okay, it's like I don't know how it is out there, man. Maryland, 100% ID checks all the time on like just buying beer or whatever. So I go, obviously, get ready with my ID. They're like, oh, I don't need to have it. I just see that there's a 9 on your date of birth, a 19, and I don't need to. And I'm like, I hate you. I hate you. Like, just look at the date. It's like 19. Like, yeah, you're good.
Oh, like, you just wait till our kids are like, so, Dad, tell us about the 20th century.
I was like, it was a fever dream and a dumpster fire. Just absolute craziness, man.
I feel bad for all the newer generation kids because I feel like we lived at the pinnacle of like time.
We lived during,
we got all the benefits of all the technology and stuff before it went the other way. You know what I
mean? We were our prime during a very interesting shift,
right?
Where you go from like the old heads doing their. I still remember floppy disks, right?
Yeah.
No one knows now what that icon is when you save it. No one knows what that icon is. I do.
What's that weird?
Yeah. Like, what is that? It's like, that's the save icon. No, it's a floppy disk. It's like, oh, dude, so many changes so fast, dude. And
I know,
like,
man.
This world that we live in on YouTube, right? Or reacting or content creating. It's a hard pitch to let's say my dad. My dad's like, so what do you do? Like, I don't know.
I don't know how I would even try to explain to my dad what I did if he was still alive. It's just he was a lot older. He was he died in 2013 and he was 70. So
my condolences. My mom passed in 2014. And no, it's interesting how that sets a course. When you lose an anchor, it sets a course.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it depends on what age.
Another episode here.
Yeah, I feel like we're about to be like, and edit here and now pick up to part 2. But no, man, it's definitely. But I love that like you're leaving a legacy for your kid. Like that's what I love about that. Like we don't have that from our parents.
Right.
At least I didn't come from a video camera family. Like the person video,
mine tried. I have VHS tapes and stuff, but like, it's all over the place, zooming in real far on something you can't even see,
And this
so many hours of that.
And this is it's such a special thing. It's like I can leave this footprint for if however long YouTube exists. Maybe my grandkids can see their grandfather do something he likes. Right. And I, especially grandfathers, we don't have this kind of stuff for our grandparents at all. And it's so cool that we can have these moments and record these moments and leave little tips and tricks for our kids via this way.
Right. That's something huge. Want to focus on in the future and stuff. It's just, I ran into a lot of stuff with my dad that I realized I didn't know, and just having questions about being a dad now, and wishing I could have talked to him about it or being able to ask him and stuff. And I just feel like doing this, I have that chance to if for whatever reason I do go early or something like that, you know, my kids can still look back and try to find some answers and some questions they might have.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. That's super
And it's a
important.
very fortunate time with this stuff too.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
easy.
that's what I love about this. Like, I already have messages to my son from the grandparents recorded. Like,
Nice.
I was like, look, he's not even young enough. When he finds this, it'll be the perfect time. You know,
Yeah.
he'll find it organically. You know, and that's what I want. Um, but yeah, man, dude, listen, I know that we're like going into something super deep, but it's like about to shift the
No,
whole thing.
we need to bring it back over.
Hey,
Let's have some
hey,
good time.
listen, look. Bob Lazar. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
Like,
don't get me started.
Oh, dude.
Element
No,
115. Let's go.
yeah, I was just like, dude. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on your podcast. I started listening. I was like, yes. Oh man, you have no idea. I run a similar type podcast with one of my other friends, and we talk about that stuff too.
It was
And it's just
the AV files, right?
yeah, it's something that he wanted to do, and it's something that I enjoy doing. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like I fall asleep listening to those type of podcasts. Like,
right. Everybody wants to listen to those.
yeah.
And it doesn't matter who's talking. It doesn't matter how much you know or how little you know. Let's hear your side of the story.
Oh man, and the great things that just came out. I'm just like eating all of it up. I'm just eating all of it up. I'm sorry.
I'm being lazy about it. Honestly, I'm waiting for other people to find some, you know, gems in the piles there.
Oh, dude, it's a massive pile, but there are definitely some gems that I'm like hearing whispers of. I'm like, oh yes, yes.
But also, isn't there like a part of you that's not really going to be surprised about what they do find?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't think I will be. It's going to be one of those. Interesting. Like, called it. Everyone did. We just had to have proof that it was that. And I feel like, okay, now on to Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, so that's taken up a lot of my my time before bed. Right. That's one of the rabbit holes I found. Right. It started with YouTubers like Mr. Ballin and then who is it? The Y Files. And then all those guys, dude, just amazing storytellers. And I love that there's a space for those creatives, and we have those type of storytellers. And like, dude, there's so many talented storytellers within the community, and I feel like that's a huge part of a community is having the storytellers.
I'm so jealous of
those. Dude, yeah, man. And there's just so much, and I love when people use this technology for good. Like bringing the community together, you know. No, but it makes the world better. Yeah, it does for sure. Definitely more tolerable. Just give it this silver lining that we all need at times, you know, to kind of focus on. It's too easy to kind of get all the time. You know, it's too easy to get. If you want to find the wrong people, right? You can. It's very easy. I tell people it's like the best thing about YouTube is you reach everyone. The worst thing about YouTube is you reach everyone.
100%.
Like
I was talking about my I came across the meme. I told one of my buddies recently, and it was like the best and worst thing about being a parent. I'm sure you probably saw it.
What's that?
It's like somebody asks you a question. It's like, what's the best thing about being a parent? It's like watching your kids grow up. What's the worst thing about being a parent? Watching your kids grow up.
I feel that. Know? I feel that. I love. It's crazy, dude. The amount of time passes, especially when you're like, you've done a really good job breaking out of like a bubble that this can trap you in, right? Like you step out and you took a lot of blinders off because this thing can really laser focus you and pull you too close, right? Pull you way too close that you miss shit. And it's interesting to see how much time passes, and you can see that if you know you can look at yourself. What is it? A year ago doing the RV life, and how much your situations have changed and shifted,
yeah.
and it's like, dude, to be able to see that growth and shifts and changes is amazing. And you know what's awesome is that your subscribers and the people in your community see that too. You know, and
Yeah.
that's important. That's so important. You know,
There's a lot of support in that too,
oh
you
yeah.
know, especially when they see how genuine, you know, you are with things, and that just strengthens, you know, the bond with support so
Oh,
much.
yeah, dude, for sure.
And like I have subscribers that you know, if they wanted to call me, I'd give them my phone number and be like, hey, you know, you need to talk, let's go. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Good.
just, I don't suggest doing that for everybody, but you
No,
know,
no, 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 no. Not at all. But at the same time, it's cool to build those types of relationships and that close knit community. I mean, pretty much, guys. If you're hearing me say community on that all the time, take a shot. It's a drinking game. I say community a lot.
oh, I might have to do that when I watch this.
Yeah, just community counter and just take shots.
Community.
Yeah. Oh, is that the unsub? Unsub. Is that from that podcast?
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, the unsubscribe podcast. Dude,
Yeah.
they're awesome. But look, man, I'm not gonna take up any more of your time.
No, that's not a problem at all, man.
I really appreciate this, and I appreciate this space that we can coexist in. You know, and I
Yeah.
love that we are building, we're building bridges to connect with each other. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm here to help. You know, I'm here to help, and if you don't need my help, that's great. You know, we're good. I'm not here to be a speed bump for anyone. You know, I want
Yeah.
everyone to be connected, and I think that we have enough overlap in our community where people are like, "Oh shit, you guys know?" You know, I've gotten that so
Yeah.
many times. Like you guys talk, like that's crazy. It's like, yeah, that's we're not that separated. You know,
Right.
we're pretty much coworkers.
Yeah.
If you
You
think
know,
about it.
it's not going to take me much to convince me to go back to Maryland. I love that place.
Oh yeah, you like this place? Hey, we have great crab cakes.
Oh
Our
yeah,
flag
crab
is
cake and
awesome.
football.
Crab cakes and football. Oh, what is a quail? Was that what they were hunting? What is it? Oh my god. Oh god.
One of the
Dude,
best comedies ever.
what it has to be. Has to be.
Yeah.
What is okay, before I give you the mic in our outro, favorite one of your favorite comedies of all time.
It's not something I'm gonna have to think about it, and you're gonna probably you're gonna feel this one,
Okay.
and you're gonna know I'm right,
Okay.
even if I'm not.
Okay.
Tropic
Yeah.
Thunder.
Yes. Yes. Bro, mine too. Mine too. Hands down. Hands down.
It's so good.
Captain
It's so
Lincoln
good.
Osiris, the most quotable character. Right up
Oh
there
yeah.
with Ron Swanson.
Oh, and he did so good. How easily was it to forget it was Robert Downey Jr.?
So throughout the whole performance, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it kept coming back. I'm like, yo, that's nuts. That's crazy. How you can just
Dude,
be like, who's that? Like, holy shit.
I didn't even know Tom Cruise was Les Grossman until the credits rolled.
That was
Had no idea.
That was a I cracked that case because of his voice early, you know, and I feel like maybe it's because when he started talking, I might have been looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I just heard his voice first before seeing him. Oh
It
man,
might have worked if I wasn't watching, probably.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, that was just a phenomenal movie. That is one of the few movies I can watch over and over and over and over again, and still laugh. Right up there, Team America: World Police is up there too.
Oh yeah,
for me.
Did you see Tropic Thunder in theaters?
Yes.
Okay, I did too.
Yes.
It came out on my birthday in 2007 or 2008. I think it was 2008. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of my friends went and seen it together, and oh man, I was losing it so hard. I mean, you've seen how giddy I get with some comedy reactions, right? So I'm watching Tropic Thunder, and already I'm like really into it. And then you see Simple Jack swinging a jackhammer at a freaking butterfly, and I lose it at an uncomfortable amount, man. Dude, meltdown laughing, and my my friend's roommate, she was elbowing me on the side. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to laugh at that.
You're not supposed to laugh that hard.
Yeah.
Never full laughter ever. But dude, it was such a phenomenal movie. Anyway, guys, listen, if you haven't seen that movie, do yourself a massive favor and just watch it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Just watch it. A movie like that will never be made again. And I think we all knew it after it was over. We're like,
I don't know.
Did that.
I see what you're saying with that. Yeah. Like I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about how much joy it brings me. But
yeah, like, that was a gem. That was a gem in time, and that movie snuck one out when it could. And I was like, that was that. I think that was the year.
If we'll ever get back to that level, but I have faith that I think we're going to get some dangerous comedies again soon.
I need that. I just need that. It's keeping
everybody does.
Funny. Yeah.
You know, having the shields up all the time is no fun.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's freaking exhausting because, you know, I'm not going to get on my soapbox. I had this channel taken away from me. It went dark for I forgot, it was like 2 weeks out of nowhere. I woke up, no copyright strikes, no community guideline strikes. Woke up, channel gone. It said create an account, right? And I was like, that's odd. And what had happened, what's funny is there are people within the community that are the members, right? Are members.
Yeah.
They found out more than I did because YouTube communicated with them before they communicated with me. And it took them about 2 weeks to bring it back. And it basically was privated. The whole channel was privated on their end.
Yeah.
Because you can recoup an account if it's privated. If you private a channel, you can recuperate that channel quickly. You can just and click of a button, you're good to go. But when it happened over there on their end, I was in the dark for all of it. And that moment really kind of shook my whole thought process on YouTube. You know, because I'm like, okay, for me, you know, I'm doing a bunch of different projects right now, a lot of different channels. But if let's say if I budgeted and depended on this for income, and all of a sudden that's gone at an error on their end, and there's really no compensation or recuperation of time, you can't really gauge that.
Well, it's like you can even I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you got somebody who just didn't like your content and had the power to click off. I mean,
100%. But that's before I got this guy over my head. You know, that's even before that. I think I dropped this name too much. Yeah, that'll do it. I say Crumble a lot
on Rumble. Like I've thought about giving it a shot, but I haven't quite tried it yet. It just seems like a lot of work to just put everything over.
It's not YouTube. All right. It's not YouTube. So you have to, it's like learning to ride a bike again.
Okay.
It's not user friendly. But I've done, I think 8 full movie reactions without editing. So that's so refreshing. That's nice. So refreshing, and I don't have to put it behind a paywall, you know. But that's for me because Embrace the Suck 21 already has a Patreon, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, man, it's slow growth. You have to bring over your own audience,
right,
to grow, and that's a process in and of itself as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to speak your brain more about that in the future.
Yeah, man. Oh, for sure, man. Listen, you have the keys to the door, and yeah, pretty much. Anytime you need me, hit me up, and we're good to go. You know, I was talking to Ron, and it's funny how our schedules have to it's just super adulting of us. like when the family's asleep, that's when I have my time.
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy.
It sucks so much sometimes. It's just like
Yeah, I'm 100% a morning person, right? And working at night is like my kryptonite. It's a tough one.
Oh,
But
so okay, real quick before we go, I have to
Mhm.
ask you. I know you got so much stuff going on. Like, what is your routine for like all your editing, getting all your work done?
So I try not to edit ever.
Yeah,
Like
that
I
helps.
I because I can't do it. I know a lot of people um and I applaud those people that have the time to edit and crop and get things into the YouTube net, right? Through the copyright goalkeeper, right? I commend you. I just don't have time to do that. And so
Yeah,
I pick and choose my battles and the plants I need to water. Because I would say some projects aren't necessarily high priority, and I can get to later.
yeah,
Because like I have a kid story channel, right? And I've dropped the ball on that. And I'm like, but that's not going anywhere. That's kind of like evergreen type content. Those are good.
yeah.
Those are solid. Um, Pressing on with the military channel that I have and this channel and the future homesteading channel, getting those kind of primed and wheels running again is a big thing. And trying to fit a schedule is a tough one. It's
Yeah.
really it's really a tough one. And I tell everyone in my community, I was like, look, no more promises because I always let everyone down when I promise. It will 100% happen when it happens. I can guarantee you that. You know, when I was doing full time, it's like every day by 12 we would have had 6 reactions up, like
Wow.
every day.
So
Um,
would you do them the same day
uh,
or like
Usually
the day
not.
before?
Um,
Yeah.
I try to have 20 reactions going into the week, ready to
Wow.
go. And so by the time I got to Friday, I would have already built up another 20. And so I always
Yeah.
had that rolling 20.
See, that seems a lot more feasible to me. Like if you're not doing a ton of editing or anything like that,
Yeah.
I could see that being able to do that
Yeah,
for
you just
sure.
crank it out and go. Granted, it's not polished. You don't have the, the you don't have the polish on the video at
Yeah.
all. Um and it's click and go. It's a record, drop it, go, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of things ended up getting either claimed,
Mhm.
copyright claimed on the back end, and things on the bigger channel started getting one copyright struck, but it was from a reaction we did like 2 years previously,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, this is dangerous, and that's with my channel getting taken down, with that copyright bullshit coming out of left field. I'm like, we're building our houses on sand.
Hmm.
It's like it's you don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like it could take one artist to sign a very bad contract and get a very sleazy, let's say, manager, and that's it. They could what's the guy's name? Don Henley, your channel. They could just Eagles the shit out of your channel.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And that's a terrifying reality that we walk. It's like, yeah, at any moment, some gust of wind, some change in the copyright, whatever it is, and guess what? That's immediately 3 strikes because you don't
Yep.
you don't mix it up. There's always multiple of a band on, let's say, reactions, like the Electric Callboy rabbit hole we dove down, right?
Oh yeah.
Like they would never, and I know we know a lot of bands would never, but there are some in this industry that could do that or could be
Yeah.
led astray to do that, and boom, that's it. That's multiple, like bop bop bop, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
And
I
so
missed
that
the early days with Electric Callboy where, if I got a copyright on their video and stuff, all I could do, I could just message them and they'd take it off for me.
I love that. I love that, man.
That was nice.
I
But man, they
I
exploded.
yeah, I would always put it into dispute, right?
Yeah.
And and it would always end up going through, but it would take like the 3 days. It would take
Yeah.
like the 3 days to be visible again. Nothing has
Right.
ever gotten blocked or taken down. But yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see the behind the scenes, and behind the scenes stuff of this, because
So
not a
you
lot
say
of people.
you've never been blocked on anything?
Oh no, yes, but the Electric
Okay.
Callboy
Okay,
has
I
never
got you. I got
gotten,
you.
has always ended up being able to be viewed.
There was only one thing that I wasn't able to get through, and that was the hypa version with we butter the bread with butter. I tried
Interesting.
uploading that so many times. It is up for 2 weeks and then it gets taken down.
That's wild.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know
wild.
why. I mean, there's so many other people up there with them, and they've
And
been up.
and there's a lot of those, and this is why I want to get on my soapbox so much is, guys, if you're still with us, this is right here, what I'm about to talk about is the reason why YouTube is so infuriating at times.
Yeah.
There are other channels that have that reaction up.
Mm-hmm.
There are other channels that don't have to put either a big ass watermark, text on the screen, filters, flip it, like you don't. There are channels that don't have to do that.
Yeah.
How and why? No one knows. No one, there's a best practices, but not a for sure way.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating because it limits how much we can help each other.
Right.
And I don't like that.
I know that there's some reaction channels that have kind of like a, I don't know exactly the term to use. Maybe like a
whitelisting.
No, it's like being with labels and stuff, and they kind of green light you to react to channels and stuff like that. Back channel.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was looking for. Yeah. Bird vomit in my mind there.
Right.
But yeah, they're able to do that. And I've only ever attempted to get access like that one time, and that was with Spirit Box. And I reached out to the label, and they wanted to green light it, but never did. So, I kind of gave up on that.
I was able to reach out. I was doing oh my God, I'm blanking. This is not good. I'm not even going to try to attempt to fuck.
If we're doing editing, you can just insert here.
Yeah, insert here, right? No. Everyone knows what I had to go through to get this. Because I used to do full concerts. I used to react to full concerts, and we would do that every Friday, or every Saturday would have a live concert. Every other Saturday would have a live concert, and I did an Electric Callboy one that went up perfectly. But there's some that didn't like the full that you've obviously probably have heard about Nightwish, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their fans are brutal, dude.
Yeah.
We were having too much fun.
Oh yeah.
One of their reactions. It's just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like,
it's pretty it's definitely a fan base. But we were streaming one of their concerts, and I had to jerry rig the stream from this site so people could, when that gets taken down, go to this site and it's still going.
Oh, you'll have to tell me how you did that.
Yeah, man. It's wild. It's a janky way, and I call it the Strike Wish concert.
Right. I mean, that's a genius move though, because I've done live reactions on my channel, and all it takes is one of them to flag out of nowhere, and the whole video just shuts off, and you have to start it live again.
So annoying.
So embarrassing too. It's I'm a professional.
It's basically roulette, of the Russian type with reactions at times, especially
I mean, you have to take those chances though, just to figure out how things work, and it changes all the time, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard, but listen, Ron, thanks again for your time, man.
Anytime, man.
The channel is yours to jump on whenever you want to. Again, if you have something coming up, if you have something you want to talk about, just hit me up and we'll have another one of these. Maybe not as long, and maybe we can pick up on part 2 later.
Definitely. I've got some stuff I'd like to talk about in the near future, let's say.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, I've learned a lot of ways on how not to do things. And that's pretty much my experience.
So. I relate to you on that
Yeah.
So much.
But guys, make sure you follow, check out the links under the video and the description. Guys, the description is this tiny little fucking thing. If you click it, there's a lot of information on there. I swear there's descriptions on 90% of videos out there.
It seems like everybody just wants to ignore that now.
No, because it's not like spoon fed. It's not like here it is. So what I do is I at connect.
Yeah.
The top comment and I pin it. Like, okay, here it is. Here it is. Fight me. Like, if you guys don't want to go looking in the description, this magical place, you know, of a land.
You mean the magical place with all the information everyone's looking for?
The one place I could silence a lot of questions.
Right.
That place. Dude, I totally want to make a parody song of just writing about the description. Like, I gotta make that happen.
Write the lyrics for it, send it to me, I'll make the music. We'll get it done.
All right, man. That sounds good. But guys, make sure you go over and check out Thunder Rooster. All right? Why not? Why not? I'm going to put all your links in the description and all over the place. I'm going to throw it at them. You know,
if you need a good laugh, you know, we've got a few things.
Yeah, solid, man. Solid. Anyway, guys, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for rocking with the channels. I'll be sure to see you guys over on Thunder Rooster at some point. And yeah, unplug, do something legendary, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. And thanks again, Ron, for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.